What's going on, everyone? Thank you for your service to our country. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 best VA disability claims in 2025 that you can file for. Remember, in 2025, there are rating changes coming to sleep apnea, to tinnitus. It's going to be coupled together with hearing loss and mental health rating changes. And also be on the lookout. I just put out a video yesterday for Project 2025. Just stay in the know on that because there could be some changes and some cutbacks with government workers in the workforce within the government and the VA that can hurt us. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, share this out with someone that can use this information. And thank you for your service. We are veterans serving veterans, and you matter. So, right, I want to go over the top 5 conditions in 2025 right now that you can file for. Okay. Number 1, I want to get into this condition immediately because you could be grandfathered in before they couple together the tinnitus and hearing loss. That's tinnitus. There's a lot that you can do off tinnitus secondary, right? Like headaches. There's anxiety, there's depression, there's other things that you can do. And it's pretty easy to get. Still, you can get it. And if you get it and you get it approved before they make that change and couple together the tinnitus with the hearing loss, then you could be grandfathered in and keep that tinnitus and that standalone 10% rating. But remember, they're going to combine the 2 ratings at some point in 2025. We don't have a specific date yet. When we do, I'll make you aware of that. But it's going to be, right now it's standalone and it's a 10% rating by law, according to 38 CFR. It cannot go any higher than that. But tinnitus is the ringing in your ears, ringing, buzzing, or clicking without an external auditory source. They also, many people say, hey, I can just get it. That's one that they just give. Look, the VA doesn't give any rating away. Let me put it to you like that. But tinnitus is based off of your MOS. That's one factor and criteria. Was it low noise, mid noise, or high noise exposure list? Low, mid, or high noise exposure list. What was your job rate, MOS? What was your job? If you were on the flight deck, right, around C-130s, working on the flight deck, you have a very high probability of just being able to get tinnitus in that ringing in the ears because it's more believable. If you are a 42 Alpha in the Army and admin clerk and you're indoors all the time, your job is on the low noise exposure list. So you got to know that, if you're like a bosun's mate, right? It's kind of mid to high as a bosun's mate, but it depends on your job, where you're around loud noises, and can you prove that you're around loud noises? And when you do submit your tinnitus claim, you need a good statement to go with it. You need to describe, and you need to describe when that tinnitus occurred so that you can establish service connection. Tinnitus is a subjective claim, right? Meaning you don't need to do range of motion or anything like that. It's the perception, and you're telling the doctor and the VA, hey, I've got tinnitus, I've got ringing in the ears, and this is when it began, okay? You got to give them a date on that. So again, the common symptoms of that are ringing, buzzing, humming in the ears, difficulty concentrating, sensitivity to sound, trouble sleeping. The VA rates tinnitus under 38 CFR Part 4, right? It's Diagnostic Code 6260. It's reoccurring at 10%. There is no higher, lower, or bilateral rating for tinnitus. Again, huge changes are coming to VA ratings for tinnitus in 2025. Tinnitus will no longer be rated as a standalone condition under Diagnostic Code 6260. Instead, it will be considered a symptom of an underlying condition such as hearing loss, Meniere's disease, or TBI. Number 2, easiest condition on this list is mental health conditions. Mental health conditions in veterans such as depression, PTSD, anxiety are often linked to the psychological impact of trauma during military service. PTSD results from exposure to life-threatening events, while depression and anxiety can stem from prolonged stress or loss. Also, your physical service-connected disabilities can impact your mood and your mental health as well, too. And there's a rating for that. You got to secondary it as well. But mental health conditions are number 2. Some of the common symptoms of PTSD and stuff are flashback nightmares, intrusive thoughts, emotional numbness, hypervigilance, mood swings, and social withdrawal. The VA rates mental health conditions under 38 CFR Part 4, general rating formula for mental disorders from 0 to 100%. How is your rating determined? It's determined based on the severity of your conditions. You don't want to lie about your symptoms, but you don't want to minimize. If you minimize, then you could just be selling yourself short as well. The average VA rating for mental health as of right now is 50%, while the most common VA rating for mental health is 70% rating. Okay. That depends on the severity, that depends on the symptoms, that depends on your Beck score and indicating factors. And remember, veterans, you need treatment. You got to continue to get treatment for your conditions. The raters are looking for that, right? If you've got complaints, if you're filing for a condition, but you got no treatment, it's going to look like there's not a problem. Okay. Number 3, VA presumptive conditions. Presumptive conditions are illnesses the VA assumes are service connected due to specific exposure, such as Agent Orange or burn pits, or specific locations and times of military service. Examples include ischemic heart disease, some cancers, Parkinson's disease. There are over 300 presumptive conditions eligible for VA disability benefits. Common symptoms vary depending on the condition, but may include fatigue, neurological issues, cardiovascular issues, and respiratory distress. The VA rates presumptive conditions under 38 CFR, schedule for disability ratings, using numerous diagnostic codes with ratings from 0 to 100%, again, depending on the severity of whatever condition you're filing for and the severity of that condition, right? Presumptive VA claims are easier to win because they don't require proving a nexus link to your military service. If you can get a nexus and a link, I don't care if it's presumptive or not, I advise for you to get that. A presumptive disability is automatically considered service connected by the VA if you served in a qualifying location during a specific time period and later developed a related condition. Simply provide your DD-214 showing service in the eligible location during the required time frame and evidence of your qualifying condition, and the VA will grant service connection. I don't want to say it's automatic at all, right? Many people think it is, and then they get told it's not. You need to be up to date with your treatment, right? Let's say you're doing sinuses. Do you have an up-to-date diagnosis? Does your DD-214 show that you were in a PACT Act location area? And do you have complaints about it? Like, make sure that you do. Don't just assume you're going to give your DD-214 and automatically get it, okay? Some raters ain't doing that, unfortunately. And if they don't, and you are in an area and you do have that condition and you need to rebuttal it, then make sure that you submit additional evidence for your supplemental claim. If the VA gives you a clear and unmistakable error, or there's a duty to assist error identified, make sure that you do a higher level review, okay, which you can file online at va.gov, okay? Remember, supplemental claim, providing new and relevant evidence that was not included in the former decision that was denied, or you disagreed with the evaluation or rating, you're providing new and relevant evidence. That's a supplemental claim. Higher level review is you disagree with the decision and you find clear mistakes in the decision and you want to rebuttal it and you want to talk to a more senior level reviewer. Number 4, migraine headaches. Migraines are type of severe headache that often includes neurological symptoms. They can be triggered by stress, environmental factors, physical injuries, or even something like tinnitus or some of your pain can cause headaches, right? They may have vascular or nerve-related origins, right? Headaches can cause intense headaches, nausea, vomiting, sensitivity to light and sound, and visual disturbances. The VA rates migraines under Diagnostic Code 8100 on a scale from 0 to 50% at the highest, depending on the severity of symptoms and functional loss. The word prostrating can literally make or break your VA rating for migraine headaches. It's crucial because the 30% and 50% rating criteria specifically refer to the frequency and severity of prostrating headaches. Obviously, the more headaches that you have, you need to provide a headache log. Prostrating is huge. That needs to be in there, and you need to have a personal statement. You need to make sure that you have a diagnosis. If you're secondary to, say, tinnitus, you need disability benefits questionnaire, you need nexus, and you need diagnosis. It's very, very important, okay? And then number 5 is going to be musculoskeletal conditions, right? These conditions affect back, bones, joints, muscles, tendons, necks, ligaments, anything musculoskeletal, right? It could be pain, swelling, range of motion, weakness, reduced mobility, joint instability, etc. And the VA rates musculoskeletal conditions under 38 CFR and under different diagnostic codes with ratings depending on are going from 0 to 100%, depending on the condition name and its severity of symptoms. And remember, it's a combination of pain, like for your back, but it's also going to be range of motion. So you need to pull up and say, okay, I'm going for right knee patellofemoral syndrome or left knee patellofemoral syndrome, or radiculopathy, or my back. I'm going lumbosacral strain. Well, you got to keep in mind, what is my range of motion? What is my flexibility, right? Cervical spine. What is my flexion, right? They're looking at range of motion as well, too. That is very important to keep in mind, that it's not just because you have an MRI and because you're saying that your back hurts, right? That can establish service connection, but the higher the rating with musculoskeletal conditions, the majority of the time depends on the range of motion. So you need to keep that in mind. Those are the top 5 2025 conditions as of right now, the end of November 2024, the making of this video, that you can file for right now. Tinnitus, number 1, it's still a standalone rating. Get that claim in if you have not filed for it. Number 2, mental health conditions. Number 3, presumptive conditions. There's over 300 presumptive conditions eligible for VA disability benefits. Number 4 is migraine headaches. Migraines are headaches. And number 5 is musculoskeletal conditions. Okay. I hope that this video helps you. Stay in the fight. Stay in the know. Don't give up. If you have any questions, reach out to us, info@veteransclaimservants.com. Here in 2025, we're going to be starting up a membership where you guys can ask questions, where we will get on once a week. If you have anything that you want answered, we want to answer those questions and help point you in the right direction, right? We'll be doing it an hour or 2 each week, providing that time to answer those questions. We just want to thank you for your service. I hope that this helps you out. Don't stop filing your claims. Make sure that you get the proof that you need, right? Make sure that you have in-service treatment, stress, or diagnosis, and keep fighting. Thank you for your service to our country. I want to wish you guys a happy holiday and a happy Thanksgiving. And thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Off the Battlefield podcast presented by Veterans Claim Servants. Thank you. And that rounds out our top 5 best VA disability claims to file for right now, 2025. Thank you.